So, in your immigration journey, what is your focus? Where is your focus? If you haven't heard it, I really love the quote, "What you focus on grows." Kind of sit with that. What you focus on grows. It's so true. If you think about, if you're really happy or if you're frustrated, sometimes that can spiral and it can grow because that is your frame, your frame of reference, what you're focused on. And so what I see with couples in the immigration process, there's two different places that you could put your focus. And I'd like all of you who are watching, listening, ask yourself in your immigration journey, is where is your focus between these two options, these two things that I tend to see with couples? Is your focus on how hard the process is and how long the wait times are? Or is your focus on your relationship and your love and your future together and even your present together, even if you aren't in the same country? So ask yourself, really reflect between those two, where do you spend a majority of your brain power and your energy? And ask yourself, how is that impacting your life based on where your train of thought is? And I know I've been through the immigration process, and it is, and understand please that it's not a judgment if you find yourself in one place or the other. It's going to be hard to fully stay in one of those two lanes, but to be cognizant of where your focus is going to be a game changer. I know this personally. It's going to be a game changer for how you experience your immigration journey. And it's going to be a game changer for your relationship. If you are focused on, oh, this is so hard, this sucks, the wait times are long, why does the government keep asking for the same thing? Yes, those things are frustrating, but if your focus is always there, that energy, that frustration can grow. But if you are cognizant of that and say, wait, I don't want to be in this energy, I don't want my focus to be here, and take that knowledge, being cognizant of that, as I said, and challenge yourself to move yourself into the energy of, I'm so grateful for this relationship. I have this amazing person, even if we might be apart. We connect every day. We love each other. We support each other. Our future, we're going to talk about our future. These are all the things that we dream of doing. Those things are going to happen. Maybe not tomorrow, but they will. We're in the process. We're one day closer. And shifting your focus to that, it's going to be so much better for your emotional health and so much better for your relationship. Take it from me. I practiced that. My husband practiced that as we went through the process and held each other accountable to helping each other shift our focus. We're checking the USCIS wait times every day. It's like, is this productive? No. How about we have a virtual date? Or how about we talk about our next vacation? Or how about we talk about our future or our day? Be in the present. So I just wanted to throw that out there for all of you to kind of some food for thought, to think about it. And if you're watching this on the replay, please, and if you're here live, please, if you have some experience with spending time in either one of these lanes and the impact it's had, if you have any advice that you'd like to share with other couples, I encourage you to do that. Knowing that you're all in this process together is so important, and supporting one another. So hopefully that's helpful to give you a new reframe for your immigration journey. All right. So good morning, Lisa. Good morning, Chinandu. All right. I have a bunch of questions here. Anna, good morning. All right. So it's so great to see all of you. I love seeing all of you every week. All right. I see Eds has a question. I'm trying to see. It looks like, oh, it's two parts. That's okay. Yay! Getting married on December 11th. Congratulations. Do I need to wait until I've updated all my records and IDs with my new last name before we apply for the spousal visa? That's a really good question. So you don't have to necessarily wait. That's something that you'll do simultaneously. But in the immigration process, when you're going through an immigration process based on your marriage to a U.S. citizen or a lawful permanent resident spouse, immigration recognizes, and the United States recognizes, that marriage license is being a formal document for the name change. So it's important, that you'll get your other IDs and documents updated, but that in and of itself will work to show that you're wanting to change your name. And that's something that has to be disclosed on the forms. So great question. Yes, so you can actually, once you've married and you have that marriage certificate, that will be proof for that name change. So congratulations on having that date set for December 11th. That's exciting. And can I change jobs while our application is ongoing? Oh, and I just recognized that on your photo that you have here that you're showing your ring. So for your engagement. That's super adorable. So I get this question a lot. Like, should I just keep everything status quo? Should I not move? Should I not change my job? Life is going to happen, and a lot of things will change with how long the immigration process is. And so there's no prohibition in the context of an immigration case based on your spouse of changing jobs. And that's why at each stage in the process, there's a whole new set of forms where it feels redundant. Like, when you go to the doctor's office or the dentist and it feels like, oh, I give this stuff every time. The immigration process is pretty comparable. And that's because they know that things will change. And at different phases, you'll give an update about where you're working, living, etc. So there's no prohibition to nothing that prohibits you from being able to change jobs. All right. Okay, I have a lot of great questions here. Let's see. So Lisa, when is a good time to do joint bank accounts, before or after the wedding? So great question again. The time to do a joint bank account, it's really going to depend on your bank, right? And it's really going to depend on the immigration status of that individual and what your bank allows. We encourage our couples that we represent start having and creating or collecting joint evidence, financial, relationship evidence, anything to prove your relationship is real. The sooner you can get started and the more evidence you have, the stronger your case will be. But with bank accounts, it can be difficult because banks have a lot of requirements as to who can have joint ownership on the account and what IDs and evidence will be needed. So it really will depend on your bank. If you're able to do that before the wedding, awesome. But in my experience, most couples aren't able with their bank to do that until after the wedding. All right. And then you're very welcome, Lisa. Okay. And do I need a marriage certificate to start a CR1? So thanks for being with us, Patricia. So for the CR1, I know immigration's an alphabet soup, CR1, IR1. For those who are maybe new to your immigration journey or new to the immigration system, CR1 and IR1 are the spouse visa. That's the spouse visa process. So just as it sounds, if it's your spouse, you have to be legally married to be able to start that process. So yes, you have to be legally married to be able to be eligible for the spouse visa. And I do encourage you to check out our free resource center. Here it is at immigrationforcouples.com. And it really goes over what the spouse visa is, what are the eligibility requirements, and what are the steps in the process. So definitely check that out, immigrationforcouples.com, and our free resource center. And we even have a downloadable chart that goes through that process. But great question. Yes, for the spouse visa, you have to be legally married. All right. All right. Is the U.S. immigration process different if you want dual citizenship? I've never been asked this question if it's different. I've been asked a lot about dual citizenship, but in terms of dual citizenship, the United States is what they say reticent on recognizing dual citizenship, which essentially means that we allow individuals to hold passports, to hold citizenship in more than one country outside of just the United States. But in a time of war, in a time of conflict, we ask those who are naturalized citizens to promise their loyalty to the United States. So while we recognize it, in those times, there would have to be a choice made. So that's in theory, right? But in the United States, we do, in general, we recognize dual citizenship. There are some countries, China and India, for example, that don't allow dual citizenship. You have to, if you want to become a U.S. citizen, you have to make a choice to essentially abandon that citizenship of that other country. The US doesn't require you to do that. So the process wouldn't be different. You go through the same process, but when you get to that phase of becoming a naturalized citizen, there are questions that you will have to answer saying that you pledge your loyalty to the United States, that if you're asked to perform non-combatant services, you will do so, that if you were asked to do anything that's necessary to support this country, the United States, that you will do that. So that's the oath, that's the pledge that you make when you become a citizen. The process isn't different. Everyone has to take that promise, to take that oath. All right. And you're very welcome, Patricia. And let's see. I have a lot of comments here and I want to see which ones are. What are the current turnaround times for the I-129F application? So I actually made some more videos on this today because wait times is typically the biggest question that I am asked is how long is the process going to take? So I will definitely post a link to that video as well, but I want to answer your question here. In general, that very first step, that I-129F petition, is taking about 12 to 14 months to get a decision. And then after that, there's a step with the National Visa Center and then the consular interview. For most of our couples, it's taking approximately 18 months to get that fiance visa in your hand to be able to enter the United States. All right, so hopefully that helps answer your question. Thank you for being with us. Oh, and I see you have proud Navy veteran. Thank you very much for your service. All right. You're welcome, Lisa. I see you said thanks again. It's my pleasure. I really appreciate all of your comments and your participation on our Facebook page. All right, I have a lot of. Okay. So when a spouse receives a refused letter due to a missing document and they provide that missing document, how long before they receive their passport back with their approved visa? So it really depends. I know that nobody likes to hear that as an answer, but it does. It really depends on that US embassy or consulate and how quick their turnaround times are on reviewing documents. It also depends on the specific document that was requested. Is it a police clearance and they have other investigative steps that they have to do? Immigration has a long checklist of things that they have to go through and check before they issue someone their visa or their green card. So it depends what other steps might be outstanding. If it's for a joint sponsor, for example, you might submit that and immigration could come back and say they actually need more evidence. So it'll really depend on, those are a few of the main things on which it will depend. But in general, if it's something like a birth certificate, something like that, we see that typically individuals will get a decision in a few months. In extreme cases where the embassy had some complications on their end for whatever reason, we've seen individuals who've come to us where they were doing their case and they responded and they've been waiting for 8+ months. And sometimes we have to take an extreme measure called filing a mandamus action to get some movement on the case. So those are kind of the two ends of the spectrum. I'm hopeful and will manifest and be optimistic that for your case, it's just going to be a short wait. You can always, typically it'll depend on the embassy, but they typically will tell you when you turn in these documents, our administrative processing times are between 30 and 90 days. And if you get to that, certain amount of wait time, you can always follow up. So best of luck with your case. All right. And I think that looks like all of the questions. I have a lot of thank yous in here. I'm on a different platform than Facebook, so it looks a little different for me to be able to filter through everything. And then Stacy, you were wanting to know if you can set up a phone call with our firm for October. Yeah, definitely. You can reach out to our office, 317-247-5040 as our phone number, or you can also on our website, immigrationforcouples.com, and there's a consultation scheduling link, and you can check out the availability on there to schedule with our team. All right. But yeah, we would be happy to meet with you. And then I think I got everything. Oh, Anna, that's so nice. I'm so glad you're here too. I know we can't see one another, but it's nice to be in this space and this energy of all of us. So, okay. That you couldn't hear the response, and your question was about a missing document. So the cool thing is that this is all recorded, so you'll be able to go back and watch the replay. It'll probably be at about minute 16 to 18 if you want to fast forward to the answer for your question. All right. And then I think I got everybody. Oh, okay. I'm sorry, Stephen. Thank you for putting that back in there. I have so many comments. I don't. All right. Um, Okay, so you have someone that you're dating in the Philippines. She has thyroid cancer. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, but it's been taken care of. Um, and you know that there's a medical exam, and is that going to be an issue? I'm so glad that she's healthy now. Cancer, that's so rough, but I'm really glad that she's okay. So yes, part of the process is a medical exam to be able to receive your green card, and having prior diagnoses of cancer is not going to negatively impact the case. It's information that will be disclosed, but in general, immigration is just looking to see, hey, does this individual need vaccines? Do they need vaccine updates? Or is this individual, typically things that can cause more issues in a medical exam is if the person maybe has some kind of mental health disorder and they would be a danger to themselves or to society, they're not going to discriminate based on prior health issues, though, like cancer. It's just information that is disclosed. So hopefully that helps answer your question. And again, I'm glad to hear that she's healthy, but that should not negatively impact your medical exam. All right. All right. Okay, I think I got everybody. Oh, but Lisa, you had a question about vaccine waivers, that your children are religiously opposed. So yes, and you're very welcome. You're very welcome, Stephen. So with vaccine waivers and immigration. So, like I had said earlier, the medical exam is part of the process. Vaccines are part of the immigration process. There's a list of vaccines from the Center of Disease Control that they recommend that individuals have before they receive their green card and relocate to the United States. There are exceptions, though, if you have religious or moral convictions. There are very strict requirements in immigration. And for our clients who have religious or moral opposition to these vaccines, things that you have to show to immigration is that, this is, if it's a religion where it's very clear, it's part of the practices, it's part of the religious doctrine that vaccines are something to which we are opposed and no one receives them. Plus, they're looking to see if that individual's always followed that religious or moral doctrine. This is what our religion believes, and they've never received any vaccines. Those are some of the things that immigration is looking for. They want to make sure that it's not just opposition to one vaccine like the COVID vaccine. Immigration wants to see it's basically integrated into your being, integrated into how you show up in your beliefs every day, that you oppose all vaccines. And so if it is for a religious reason, we're happy to speak with you on a consultation about the specifics of your case and whether or not the information or your background is really in alignment with what immigration is looking for to provide that waiver. Okay, and Lisa, you're saying your kids haven't had any. So that's one of the eligibility type requirements, is not having received any. There's other, requirements as I just kind of outlined. So we're happy to speak with you in more detail in a consultation if you're wanting to talk about what that would look like in the context of your immigration case. All right. Oh, and then Carmel had one more question, and this will be my last question here for today. And anybody who's watching on the replay, or if you have questions after, just do a hashtag replay, and I'd be happy to answer those in the next live. Okay. So one more question: if the spouse receives a visa approved, that says your visa has been approved from the DHL, does that mean the visa has been approved, or it has to be confirmed from the embassy? So what I'm understanding from your question is that they must have gotten a paper through courier that says that it was approved, and then typically after that there would be follow-up in follow-up instructions for either pickup or delivery of that visa. So it depends on the country. It depends on the type of case, a lot of factors. But if you've received that paper, you can always reach out to the embassy, or you should have gotten some kind of tracking number, depending on whether or not you picked a courier service for delivery to home or for pickup, so you can track that visa. All right. You're very welcome. And congratulations. I'm understanding that you got an approval. So congratulations on that approval. All right. All right. Well, it was great speaking with all of you, being with all of you here today. I hope you have a fantastic week and a great weekend, and I will see you all next week. Take care, everybody. Bye.